live. Are we live already?
I think so. It's hard to tell with the Zoom.
Yes,
So
I
anyway,
think so.
okay, I think we're live.
I think we're live. Okay.
Hey, this is Lynda West with Living Live, and today I am here with Goh Wan Pin. I think that's how you say your real name. I always just call her Ping. So
Yes.
And she's with Heart Moms Tribe. And today we are going to cover planning for 2018.
Yes.
Now, before we get started, oh, Kate is here. Hi, Kate. Shout out to Kate. Whoop, whoop. And my friend Jan just asked if the webinar has just started. We are just starting, Jan. So
yes, we hopped on a couple
in there. Yeah. So what we're going to do, we hopped on just a couple minutes late, but we're going to share it to a couple of different places. And while we do that, so Ping, go ahead and share away. And while I'm sharing, you'll be doing the talking. So I met Ping about a year, maybe a year and a half ago in a group. Is it only a year? Oh my gosh.
No, it feels like ages. But
I know. Well, that goes to the testament of social media and especially videos, because videos are really how we really got connected. So we were in a group together, we got connected in the group, but once we started doing videos, it's like a full-on connection happened because we got to meet each other personally and just get to know each other, more about each other. And Ping really helped me with something really absolutely crazy, you guys. I'm going to share this with you because it was, okay, you don't remember? You'll remember when I started. But remember to share it in the group, Ping, and then share it into the actual event if you can, okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so for those who know me, I am really into music. Kate is planning a Hawaii cruise. Yes, girl. Okay, so I'm really into music, and actually in my head a lot is music. And I had this one song that was stuck in my head every single day, all day long. When I go to bed, I would try not to think about it. And then when I wake up, I would wake up to that song. And this happened every day for about 4 months. Well, I mentioned it to Ping, and she's been going through a training, a MAP training, and she can maybe explain a little bit more about that a little bit. But she's been going through this MAP training, and she's like, can I try it out on you? And I was like, yeah, I'll do anything because this one song. So what song was it? It was Man in the Mirror by Michael Jackson. So I kind of was thinking that there's something I'm supposed to be doing here. Like I'm supposed to be I was actually looking at myself all the time. Keep going, Ping.
Yeah.
So I had been doing a personal journey anyway. And this song was playing, and I was like, maybe I'm supposed to be looking even deeper, but I'm getting kind of tired of the song. so Ping walked me through this map, what they call it a map session. And I swear the song is gone. Like I still know the song and everything, but it's not in my head 24 hours a day anymore. So it was really cool. So Ping, thank you so much. You literally saved my life because that song was driving me crazy. I thought I literally was going crazy. I know I'm crazy, but I literally thought, I'm going crazy,
Yeah.
So with all that,
yeah.
So we met about a year ago and in a group, and it's been a really amazing year for both of us. We've learned so much, and we love sharing what we learned. And so today, Ping is going to walk us through planning our 2018, and I can't wait to see what she has in store for us because I know she's done some incredible stuff. And I'm excited to see what she's going to help us do for 2018. So Ping, are you done sharing it out?
Now doing the last share in the event.
Okay. So what we're doing is we're using Zoom for this so that she can share her PowerPoint, as well as there's just some different things you can do with Zoom as opposed to Be Live. And because of that, we need to get it shared out to all the different places that we want to share, that we want to help have a better 2018 than 2017. So how many of you go in the comments below, let us know. Hi, Hannah. Good to see you, girl. Hannah's here.
Hannah? Our Hannah?
Yes, our Hannah. Yep, our Hannah is here. So you ladies,
Hannah.
in the comments below, let us know. Like Kate went ahead and she said she's planning a Hawaiian cruise. She's never been to Hawaii and she's never been on a cruise. So this is like a really, really exciting thing for her to do. What do you have planned that's big for 2018? Whether it's personal or it's business related, go ahead and share in the comments below. Let us know what you have planned. And then we'll see if we can help you get there. Well, Ping will, because she's the expert on this.
But I have a disclaimer here. It doesn't need to be something big. right? So that's one of the big myths that, or rather, I get pressured by that. Well, we are like 2 days away from the new year, and everyone would be talking about New Year resolutions, right? And I get pressured thinking that I have to say something that sounds really fancy and nice. So,
Right.
so you may have a goal for yourself, and I'm gonna touch on that later in one of the steps in the process that I'm gonna guide you through. But it really doesn't need to be big. Whatever goal you feel is a worthy goal for yourself, that's like a perfect goal. So it doesn't need to be big. It doesn't need to be bigger than someone else's. It's just something, if it works for you, is great. So that's something I wanted to clarify before I start. Shall I just hop on?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Let me just share it on my personal page as well.
Oh, yeah. So I just shared it to my personal page. If you guys know anybody who is going to be, planning into 2018, if you could share this on your timeline, or if you can share this, tag them or what have you. I hate to ask people to tag people because I actually don't like that myself. But if you aren't okay with tagging people, if you could tag them, that would be fantastic. And let's help them make a better 2018 also.
Yeah.
Christina McDonald. Okay, Christina is planning one-on-one organized mentorship of a friend and to prioritize the rest of 2018. Love it. I love it. I love it. You guys, please keep sharing with us what you're planning on doing for 2018, and we'll see how we can help you get there. Okay. So Ping, take it away. I'll shut up unless you want me to talk. But you're still sharing?
Okay, no. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. I was just distracted by the last one you read out. So
okay, cool.
And I pressed the share button without knowing if I finished typing everything. But I think
we got it. We got it covered.
We got it.
Okay.
Jen wants to launch a website. That's so cool. I can see the comments too.
Fantastic. So there we go. Yeah. So Jan launching her website. That's awesome, Jan. I'm so excited for you getting that going. And then Christina also wants to rest in 2018, not prioritize 2018. Oh, there you go. Rest. That's better. But I guess they're one and the same. Yes, exactly. So you're prioritizing your rest. Exactly.
Okay. That sounds perfect. And I'm going to dive right in. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to mute myself until you ask me a question. Okay. So I promise, zip it.
Remember that you're muted and not read comments out to me. Like.
Okay. You got it. You got it.
Okay. Let's go. I'm sharing my screen. Okay, going into the full screen mode. Lynda, give me a big nod if you can see my screen. Thank you. All right. So welcome to the Plan, Focus, Do 2-hour planning session. So just to introduce a little bit of how this came about, this was in fact a 5-day challenge, which I did at the beginning of December. So it went down really well with the people in my group. And I was thinking of ways how more people could be completing these 5 steps, perhaps not over 5 days, but this is like the final dash before the new year arrives, right? So we are 2 days away from the new year. And let's just, and thank you for your commitment for showing up on this session to just map out and have some clarity on what you want to do for the first quarter of next year. So what I'll be guiding you through would be more bite-sized stuff. So I'm not going to bring you to like the big, huge vision of the whole of next year. We are just going to work on the first quarter of 2018, right? So from beginning of 2018, from January to March, what do you hope to accomplish? Let's set those goals and be clear on what you need to do to get to those goals, and we'll be good from there. Okay, so let me see if I can view the chat. Lynda, I see you have posted something. I'm not sure if, I can't, I don't think I can see it, so.
Okay, well, Hannah said that the challenge was awesome. So she thanks you for that. And then also Hannah plans on writing and publishing her next book.
Wow.
Yay! Love it. I love it. I love it. Who in here has
English, Hannah?
Better be in English. Hannah is German. Yeah, so who in here has written a book? And if you haven't written a book, who here plans on writing a book? I just launched my book yesterday, The Year of Fears. And boy, you know what? That was so fun. I can't wait to do my next one, which I'm already in the planning stages of.
Wow. So awesome. So awesome. I have a copy of that book. I haven't read it yet though. Okay, so let's dive right in. So I can't see the comments. So Lynda, I'll just need your help to like wave or just come in whenever there's a pause so that I can know who's commenting.
You got it.
Yep. Thank you. So we are gonna dive right in. So
oh, wait, first, Hannah says it will be in English for sure. So
yeah. Perfect. Thanks, Hannah. So this planning session, this 2-hour planning session, if you just happen to stumble upon here and not know what you're in here for, then these 3 things, these 3 points are for you to check if you're in the right place. So you are in the right place if you have big goals for next year, and next year is only 2 days away, and you're committed to achieving them. But knowing yourself, you know that you'll be sidetracked by the distractions and then start to procrastinate, just like every other year, right? So, and then with this awareness, you are also committed to making a change or have next year be different from the previous years by getting some support. So you're looking for some support towards achieving your goal, and that's exactly what this session is going to do for you. So, and how can I help you? So here's why, first of all, in case you're wondering why I am eligible to help you, well, I've been an entrepreneur for 8 years, and for most of these 8 years, I've been focusing so much on my business that I've been neglecting a lot of my family, which is actually what matters the most to me. So for the first 2 children I had, I totally missed their milestones. They were older as well and fairly independent. I felt like I'm going into the how I can help you. So I felt like I wasn't so pressed for time with my children being older. So those of you with the very young children, you'll be able to relate that when your children are the younger they are, the more time you have to spend with them. So it's only until they go to preschool or start formal school, then it's a lot of time off you. So that was the space I was in. So my children were in primary school. They were more or less quite independent. They didn't seem to need me as much as before. And I was happy with that freedom. And I also took my time for granted at that point of time. So I was just whiling my time away, and I'm a master procrastinator before I realized how much time I was wasting. And a turning point came for me when I had my 3rd child 2 years ago in 2015. So that totally just changed the game for me. And I had to decide between 2 options. The first was to just shelve my business until my girl gets older and I can get back to it, right? When I have more time for myself. And the other option was to figure out a way how I could have both. So I guess being the entrepreneur in me, like having the never give up spirit, I opted for the second option. And I was so relentless in looking for a way how I could be running my business and also being there for my baby. So that wasn't easy. It was a crazy start initially, but I had, with the help of mentors, and I was like just going on a crazy search of all the time management tools out there to see what could work. And I realized something really important, and this is what I'm sharing with you today as well, that all the time management tools out there with all the gurus teaching you how to manage your time, they are all good, but there's no one size fit all solution. So I realized the hard way that I had to just take whatever works for me and drop the rest, and be able to come up with something like a personalized system that will work for me, right? And that was the point where it all changed the game for me. I was using certain tools and principles from time management teachers and gurus, but I was adapting them to my situation because I had a unique situation of having a child who's less than 6 months old. And at that point, I was launching a new coaching program. So what I ended up doing in the past 2 years, my daughter is now 2 years and 2 months old. And in the past 2 years, I've launched a coaching business. I've launched my personal brand, the Heartpreneur Mom. So Heart Moms Tribe, which Lynda mentioned earlier, is like my side project now to support moms. But as you can tell, I'm all about supporting moms and mompreneurs. So I've launched 2 brands so far and have a couple of programs to support mompreneurs in their businesses. So that's what I was able to do despite having a growing, active, time-consuming little 2-year-old. And I'm so glad to say that I got to spend so much more time with her than the previous 2 children. So that was what changed things for me. And that's why I'm here to show you how I was able to do it as well, so that you can do the same for 2018. Good? Lynda, do you want to hop on now with any comments or questions?
No, go girl.
Yeah, cool.
This is awesome.
So what will you get from this session? So first of all, you really find out the true reason why you feel unfulfilled and unhappy. And I would be giving you hacks to help you declutter negativity and reinforce uplifting situations. And later on, I would elaborate on why this is important. And lastly, the most important thing that you walk away with from this session today is you would have your own planning system to help keep your actions on track. But most importantly, also know how to maintain these things. So because it would be always nice for me to teach you principles and theories, but if you're not able to maintain and sustain it for at least the first 3 months of next year, then it's not going to work. So that's what you'll be getting from this session. So now what I'd like you to do is that for those of you who have access to your computer or your tablet, go to this link to access the online worksheet right now. And if you don't, just grab a piece of paper or your favorite notebook and you can start writing in it. You can always get to this worksheet after this call if you want to spend more time on it. So just a disclaimer, we are going to go through 5 steps of guided actions today. I'm going to guide you through each step, but if you choose to have to go back to any of them after this 2 hours, to work through it, to reflect a little bit deeper, feel free to do that. And you are able to do that via this online worksheet or on paper, definitely. So via this online worksheet, you would be able to, I'll be able to send you a summary of your responses after this session so that you can have a recap of what you got. Right? So whichever way, I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes to get that done. Let me know if you're good in the link and you can see the first part of the worksheet. Lynda, are you in that link as well?
Well, I just now posted it on my business page, my personal timeline, and inside the event that we created on the Facebook Live group that I have.
Okay.
But I cannot post it into the Facebook group that I have because Facebook has banned me until January 2nd. So if you're in the group, just hopefully you can pull that off. Or if somebody could post a link inside the group, that would be really awesome. So I'm gonna go into it right now myself. So.
Okay, and it's all lower caps. It's case sensitive, so go.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. This is the Plan, Focus, Do Part 1.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're in there right now, we'll just dive directly into part 1 now.
So is anybody having trouble getting to the link?
Yeah, so
I
if you
did.
have trouble, just check to see if it's case sensitive. I'm going back to the link again.
And again, I posted the link inside the comments.
Okay.
So if you're watching from my business page or my personal page, you'll see it in the comments there.
All
You should see it in
right.
the comments there.
Yeah. Thanks, Lynda.
You're welcome.
So for the first part, right, we are gonna look at you first, right? So our objective for this part is to help you shape a vision and to help you get clear about what your truest values are, and to align these values with your goal, which we are going to identify in the next part, so that you are living your desired life, right? Lynda, it was totally unplanned, but I have living life in the last phrase.
Oh, you do?
Right.
Oh, yeah, there we are. There we go.
Yes, so that you're living your desired life. That sounds like Lynda's
Yeah.
tagline, brand tagline.
If you're not living live, you're not living life.
Yes. So yes, that was unintentional, but very, very very true, and a reflection of what I wanted to say is that if your values are aligned with your goals and what you're up to, that's gonna give you the truest form of satisfaction and happiness. So if you're unhappy and unfulfilled, there might be a bit of a disalignment somewhere, which we are gonna find out very, very soon. So on the assignment sheet, you can see that, or if not, you can just write it on a piece of paper. What I would like you to do in the next couple of minutes is to list 5 of your top values, right? So you can select from this long list over here that I've provided you with, or you can add your own if it's not in this list. So first, write down your top 5 values.
And you want us to do that in the worksheet, or you want us to do that in the comments?
In the worksheet, if they have the worksheet. If not, on paper, you can always share it in the comments after you've worked on it, because I want them to have a copy of it on their own, So work on the worksheet, and then look at what is your vision for 2018.
So after they're done with filling this out, it's going to send them an email with this information, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
cool.
Right at the end of it, so you'll be going through all 5 parts. At the end of it, you have an option to put in your email address to receive all your responses. So I'll be sending that to you. So don't worry about getting a copy of it. Just focus on the exercise itself.
And again, if you feel like you want to share, put them in the comments, because the more people we have thinking about what you want in your life, the better it is for you, right? So go ahead and share them. I'm doing my 5 right now, and then I'll share them when I get them done.
Okay. So list your 5 top values and start thinking about your vision for 2018. And I'd like you to pick one word that will be your theme for 2018. And the last part, after you do the 2 steps, would be to see if your top 5 values support this vision. And if it doesn't, what needs to change? So just take the next few minutes to go through these 3 parts, 3 steps here in part 1.
This is harder than I thought. Okay, let's see. I got my 5. I'm posting them. I like that you have ones for us to look at, to give us an idea. And that, I think that is so awesome. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. It's usually hard to these words are really just to trigger your thoughts. You may not have realized that some of them are your top values. You've just been living them.
Does it have to be one word, or can I do like a phrase? I guess I can do what I want. A
It'd
word.
be
Let's
nice if you
see.
can have a word, but if it's a phrase, not too long, not more than 4 words, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So my word is, because I wanted it to be think bigger, but so I'll just do bigger. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be my word.
Bigger or just big.
I guess big works. I want it to be bigger than I ever thought before.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Yes, they do.
Then,
Okay.
then bigger works.
Okay. So it says, do your top 5 values support this vision? If not, what needs to change? My values definitely do support the vision. Okay. So is anybody having problems getting into the document? Or since this, it's all on the screen anyway, you can just be writing it down if you
Yep.
want or typing it.
Yep.
Let's see. Christina has faith, community, transparency, fitness, and adventure. And that is so Christina. So she's totally living that. So that's awesome.
Yeah. So for those of you who find that your values support your vision, that's great for a start. But I'll then like you to take it a step further and think about because I asked you for your vision in 2018, but I didn't ask you if this vision was a business related one. So if you do have a business related goal for the year, just take a look back at these top values and see if they also all support your business vision, right? Because why this distinction is important is that most of us are very clear who the person we want to be is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But many times when we are an entrepreneur or we are an employee and we are having our work related goal, sometimes we may need to take on a couple of other traits or values that we may not have, like regard them as the top 5, right? So perhaps industrious may not be in your top 5 values, for example. But for your business success, or you may be hustling on the side while working in a full-time job, and your goal is to leave your job for your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's a goal like that, then perhaps a value like being industrious, hardworking, resilient, resourceful would support this business goal much more than loving and kind, right? So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with your initial top 5 values, but it would be interesting for you to take a look at whether these top 5 values support your business vision. And if you've had any frustration in the past year or so, thinking that you are not getting closer to your business goals, this might be the missing link, that you may not be consciously and intentionally embracing some new sets of values which you need to take on to have your business success. And that again doesn't mean that you have to give up your top 5. It might be just to add on to your existing list so that you are very conscious of it, right? And you are nurturing that part that's already in you, but you never realized you needed to tap on that resource for this side of your life right now, like a new business you're starting or a new level of business you're growing into.
That's a good point. I love that. Thanks for bringing that up, because many of those values are values I have,
Yep.
but maybe I need to switch the top 5, like you
Yep.
said, because it's for my vision for 2018.
Yes.
So that's a great exercise for me to go back through those and discover which ones are really the ones for 2018, not for me for right now.
Yeah.
Right. For my success for 2018.
Yes.
Right?
And
Okay.
that's really for you to see for yourself. And there's nothing wrong in just still leaving your top 5 values as they are, and you're perfectly happy with them. But for those people who are also up to something big in their business or any other part of your life that you find that your values may not be fully supportive, then this is an extra exercise on top of this that you might want to look into. All right. So let's move on to the next part then. And like I said, if I'm going too fast, always just feel free to come back to this exercise later on. I'm giving you more or less enough time, but some of these things you need to go a little bit deeper. So I find that, like in my 5-day challenge, some people did this easily. Some people needed to reflect on this a lot more. So it's really up to you, and take that time and space for yourself after this session. All right.
And that too is a great point, Ping, because everybody's in different,
Yes.
everybody's different where they are in their life right now. And I know that, well, I've gone through some of these types of courses, like with you even, that
Yeah.
you know, some people are like boom, 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 and others like, I need a day or two to think about this.
Yes.
And that's okay. So you don't need to rush through this. The hope is that by the end of this 2 hours, you can have what you need. But if nothing else, you will have the tools that you need to finish the plan.
Yes, exactly. So you'll not only have the tools, but at the end, I'm going to show you how you're going to be able to continue receiving support from me, and so that I can guide you along whenever you find that perhaps along the way you want to tweak your goals and vision a little bit, and you want to just check in with me on certain questions that you have, and you can totally do that. I'll show you how to do that later on, right? So let's move on to part 2. Part 2 is that is really to look deeper into what makes you happy, you as a person, right? So first you as a person, and then you as an entrepreneur or an employee, if you don't already have your business. So why I have these split up into these 2 parts is that many times we tend to focus on one aspect, right? The one that seems more necessary at that point of time. So like what I used to do before when I had my first 2 elder children was that I totally just ran with the entrepreneur role, right? And I sort of shoved aside my role as a mom. So I outsourced that. So I had other people in the family take care of my children while I ran with the business. And on hindsight, looking at that, I would have really loved to have a much better balance of both. And it's also something that wasn't very sustainable. So that was the exact reason why I did not continue with my business at a point of time. It was a retail business. So it was consuming so much of my time and energy. It was impacting my health. It was taking time away from me and my family, that I just had to leave that arrangement, right? So it's not something that is sustainable over a long time if you're just running with one role. And that's why in this part, I'd like you to take a look at them separately. First of all, what makes you happy as a person? And then what makes you happy as an entrepreneur? And we are going to look at these 2 parts.
And this was actually a very great point you brought up again. And that is that, you know, a lot of times we're going through our lives and we're doing what we're doing. We make our decisions based on what we're experiencing at this moment in time. And then we go through life and it's like, man, I wish I had done something differently. Well, the thing is that we can't do something differently than we had in the past. But you can at this moment say, I'm going to learn from that and I'm going to go forward. And how am I going to go forward? If I'm not happy, how can I make myself happy? What do I need to do? What steps do I need to do? And that's part of this planning process, right?
Yes, because it's like we all feel so obliged to plan or to come up with a great plan, come up with a big New Year's resolution. But does that really make you feel happy? That's the fundamental of everything. Like, so before I even teach you how to plan or what to plan, we'll have to make sure that whatever you're planning is going to make you happy and not doing something for the sake of just doing it. Like,
I want to bring up something there too, is because we talk about New Year's resolutions all the time. And I haven't made a New Year's resolution in probably 8 or 9 years because I realized that every time I made them, I broke them. So what I do instead is I make New Year's solutions. So I have solutions that are going to make things differently for me for my life. What can I do in 2018 that's going to make something different and better for me instead of doing a resolution? So I like doing New Year's solutions. I don't know if that helps anybody, but I just thought I'd throw it out there.
And that was exactly, I didn't like setting New Year resolutions because I thought it was so cliche. Second was that I really wasn't confident of achieving those goals, right? So it sucks to make a new goal out of excitement and, you know, make it on a high and then not achieve them. So if we do that to ourselves year after year after year, then guess what? There's going to be a part in you that doesn't trust you anymore, right? And that was exactly the space I was in until I stopped doing that. It's not going to be a New Year resolution, but I'm going to be setting goals for myself at every point I feel is necessary. And I found that working through each quarter, so having 4 smaller goals for each year has helped me a lot. And I'm going to share that with you later on as well. So, but first for this part, I'd like you to take a couple of minutes to first take a look at yourself, right? As a person, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being most happy, could you just put down a number that states how happy you are as a person? So don't overthink it, just write that number down or type that number in. And then what would need to happen to bring this number up to a 10 by the 31st of March next year? And then to break what needs to happen down into 3 smaller steps. So in case you happily just put down 10, that's great. So you wouldn't need to do anything to bring it up to a 10, but think of what you would need to happen for you to keep that at a 10, right? So I'm totally excited for you if you are 10 upon 10 happy as a person, but let's think about how you need to sustain that, right? So take a couple of minutes to think about this and then write that down or type them in the online worksheet.
What are yours, Ping?
Don't distract me.
I'm typing mine. This is so much better than I thought. Not that I thought it would be, but this is really thought provoking. Yeah. Thanks. This is crazy.
So that's why there would be more things that come up, although it seems really simple. Just from the questions, there'll be things that come out. So take your time and give yourself that space to just look into what needs to be done. I'll probably share that with you on a separate basis. It's totally gonna distract me from this session, so I'm not gonna share it with you now.
Yeah, this gets a little more deep than the other ones.
Yep, it's gonna get a bit deeper.
Oh, goody.
Yep.
Okay, I got mine.
Okay, share.
I'm not gonna share.
Oh, you're not gonna share? Okay.
No, these are too private.
Okay.
Okay, I'll share a couple other things. So as far as the personal one goes, I feel like as a human being in the happiness area, I really do feel like a 10. I wake up every day and I feel so happy to be alive. And I think that's why Living Live was born, because I'm living my life every day the way I want to do it and on my own terms. And that was so important to me. Freedom, that's freedom to be me. So I listed that as a 10. And here's the 3 small steps. And one of them, I'm going to kind of shorten it because, okay. So I want to travel more. I haven't, like you, I concentrated so much on, my business this last couple of years. And I've spent, waking hours, like almost every waking hour on my business. And I haven't spent enough time on personal. So that is like to have more personal time. And like Christina was mentioning, more rest. So having more rest, but for rest, to me, rest means travel. So I don't know if that's resting, but it'll be resting travel. So that's
Yeah.
one. And then to eat out at nicer restaurants, you know, because I'm always in such a hurry. Not that we do like a lot of fast food, but we do
Yeah.
fast food. But you know, just to eat at nicer restaurants where we're actually sitting down and it's taking an hour to an hour and a half to eat because the
Yeah.
meal comes out slowly and not getting up there and saying, "We're in a hurry, so make it fast."
Yeah. And you have the time to chat and connect.
Yeah, connections, like making those connections. So on a, you know, more on a personal level, and then also just going out and spending some money on some clothes because I don't like shopping in the first place, but I know I need to, and it's about time I need to get out there and do some shopping.
I
And
love
then
that.
and then on my business, okay, so is to I just started my course, The Year of Fears, and it actually launches in January
Yes.
2nd. The day I can go into groups, January 2nd is the day my course starts. So,
Yes.
you know, hopefully some people will be interested in changing their life and helping themselves, you know, rid themselves of those fears that are stopping them from moving forward and join the course. And then I have this goal of speaking twice a month and then hosting a webinar once a week or every other week. So
Yeah.
those are some of the things I need to do, my 3 smaller steps. And then, of course, I need to break those down because those are pretty big.
Yeah. So yes, thank you for sharing your work related goal as well. That's the next part that I'll need you to cover. The rest who are listening in, that do the exact same exercise, but for you as an entrepreneur or as an employee. Right? So rate your level of happiness and what needs to be done to bring that up by the first quarter of next year, and again break this down into 3 smaller steps. And Lynda made a couple of points I wanted to speak about for the things that Lynda wants to do to maintain her level at a 10. Notice that they are all for her. Is a lot of self-care, taking rest, taking more holidays, taking time to eat, by pampering herself, by looking better. Those are all a lot of self-care, and that's what's very, very important for you to feel happy as a person. And that's one of my biggest intentions of putting this in here, because yes, you have your business, you have an income goal that you want to achieve, but what makes you happy as a person, don't ever lose sight of that. But it could be something as small as going for a 2-hour sit down dinner once a month. It could be as small as that, right? It doesn't need to be so frequent even. It could be only once a month, but it's something that would just rejuvenate you as a person. And that's very, very important. So that's the first point I wanted to highlight.
I like that because that makes it more, because you put a number to it, right? Like the SMART goals, you say like once a month. And I like that idea of saying once a month, treating ourselves to a 2-hour sit down dinner. So thank you. I love that. Thank you.
Yes, you're most welcome. But that also brings me to the next point I wanted to mention, which is that your smaller steps need to be something that you can put into your schedule or your planner as one task, right? So, for example, if Lynda says, I want to go have a nice dinner with my hubby, right? Then it could be, so instead of writing have good dinner with hubby, it probably needs to be broken down into 1, research nice restaurants, and 2, make a booking, at least 2 steps, right? So those are the things that we are totally not so aware of usually. For this exercise, most people can always break things down into 3 smaller steps, easy peasy. But whenever I look at those steps, they can totally be broken down into a couple or sometimes many more micro steps. So take note of this, because this is also one aspect that makes us really frustrated and not plan successfully, which is that whatever we write down in our planner or put in our schedule is not we are being over optimistic about the time that's required to get that task done.
That's for sure.
Yep. So I can just imagine the three that you have, right? So one is to go on more vacations. That's totally going to take a lot of research, a lot of like asking people for recommendations, and you'd be looking at different hotels or Airbnbs to stay in, and all that planning your itinerary. That's going to take up so much time. So it's going to be many small steps when you say that you want to have more vacations. Going shopping for nicer clothes is the same thing. You have to block that time, but you also have to have an idea of where you want to go. Or if you want to go with someone, you have to ask that person to go with you. So do you realize that you would need a couple more things to bring you there, but you could have just put it down in your planner or your schedule as, buy more clothes. And that's going to either take you off totally, like you're not going to be able to do that, because what does buy more clothes mean, right? So what's the next step to buying more clothes? If you have not thought about them, you're not able to do them, right? You can't just like wake up one day and start buying clothes. You could do that online, but you would also need to have a good idea of, which online store you want to go to, and what you need more of. Perhaps you need to get some like pants instead of keep buying tops. You have like your wardrobe's like bursting with tops, and you don't have enough bottoms, whatever, right? So that's it. All takes a bit of planning, a little bit of thought process. But this step is really fun. Each time I get the participants to look at the 3 smaller steps, it's so funny because so many of them can be broken down further and further and further and further. So you would be on the right track if your step is one item that you do, like make a call to the restaurant to make a reservation. That's one step.
Okay.
Yeah, you sort of can't really break that down even more unless you need to go find out the phone number. But if that's not going to take you more than a minute, then that's going to be part of the same thing, right? So it's going to be more micro steps. So after this exercise, this session, you may need to sit down and to break these 3 smaller steps to even tinier steps later on.
Okay, so Christina says, well, first of all, Christina said she's a 9 and to get to 10, achieve her 2018 goals. But she says, oh my God, yes, all my 3 steps have like 10 mini steps. It's so true, Christina. It's so true. And actually, as Ping was talking here, I was imagining me going to the store like topless or bottomless. Like, you're like, you don't have any clothes, Lynda. I need some bottoms.
Yeah, but that's one of the biggest pitfalls whenever we do planning, and that's why it doesn't work, right?
Okay. Good point. Yes, I love it.
Underestimate the amount of time that needs to be given to that task or something. So we either not allocated enough time, or we haven't broken down the task small enough. Either way, you just have to break down your tasks first. That's the easiest step.
So that's as anybody in the audience, go ahead and list anything that you want us to, talk about that maybe we can help you, or your Ping can help you break it down into more steps. Because just the thing of the restaurant, I hadn't even thought about, there are more steps. It's picking, like you said, researching which restaurants do I want to go to, then picking up the phone and actually making a reservation so that we don't have to wait for an hour when we get there in the lobby waiting to be seen.
Exactly. And if it's a good restaurant, you probably need to place a reservation. So So these are all the things to consider. And for us who's so conscious about packing more things into our time, then if you need to travel to that restaurant, there might be certain sites or interesting places to visit in that area, which you may want to just research on and plan perhaps half a day to spend over there, and then have that time end with the restaurant dinner, right? So it's all these things that need to go into the process. So just like going to a nice restaurant is a good trigger.
Yeah.
really needs you to sit down and break it down into smaller steps.
Okay.
And this is a fun part. So
It
this
is?
allow
Oh no.
for okay, so my smaller step has 10 smaller steps to it. So yeah, you can have fun doing that. But the more you're conscious that you do this,
Mm-hmm.
the more you'll be able to set really realistic steps in future when you're doing your planning. So that's
Okay.
gonna, yeah, this realization is definitely gonna help.
Okay, cool, cool. If you guys are finding this helpful at all, please, we ask you to share it so that more people can learn these techniques that will help them to have a better 2018, 2019, 2020, and it just, you can
Yes.
carry these into your future.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so part 3. So part 3 is to declutter, detox, and to detach. This part's objective is to help you get rid of the negative and disempowering conditions in your life to make way for the new. So just imagine this scenario that your wardrobes, so in line with what Lynda said about getting new, right? So imagine that your wardrobe's already like filled to the brim with clothes. And you are saying, okay, let's go shopping, and you're going to come back with bags of new clothes. Where are you going to place them? Right? So same thing as what we are doing here. We have big plans for the new year. But if you are filled to the brim in your life with different things, then where are these new things going to go? So before we talk about getting the new things to come in, we need to do a declutter, a detox, and detaching. Why is not only declutter, I'm not only speaking about the physical things in your living space or your working space. I'm also talking about negative relationships that drag you down. Perhaps certain arrangements at work that is absolutely disempowering for you. You find yourself dragging your feet to go to that appointment or to show up for that every single time. If you have any of these things in your life right now, then what we want to do is either to declutter, detox, or to detach ourselves from them so that we create new space for the good things that we want 2018 to bring in for us.
I love this. And, I want to just share really quickly, in 2015 was the year I did my year of fears. I faced a fear every single day.
Yeah.
And one of those things was, I guess in your words here would be the detox, because what I discovered is that I had a new saying beginning in 2015, and that was that I want to spend the rest of my life having as much fun as possible, hanging out with positive and uplifting people who want to make a positive impact on the world. And by doing that, what happened, and I didn't know it was going to happen, but any negativity, I don't say any and all, but a lot of negativity just kind of started disappearing because my focus was on positivity, no longer focused on negativity in my life. And that's why I can say today that my life is a 10. I'm happy because literally every single day I'm doing exactly what I want, living in a positive atmosphere. Like, I don't watch the news anymore because it used to just make me so angry. And I got tired of being angry. It's tiring being angry.
Yeah.
And so I love this: declutter, detox, and detach from it all.
Yeah.
And so you're going to tell us how to do that?
Yes, I am.
Thank you.
And thanks, Lynda, for bringing up this important point. At some stage of our lives, when we are committed to something better than what we already have, there needs to be a little bit of these decluttering, detoxing, and detaching done. But it may not be instant. So if you are sitting there thinking of perhaps a certain relationship that you have that is so disempowering for you, but you're just thinking, oh my goodness, how am I ever gonna get that person out of my life, right? Or most of the time, and I think most entrepreneurs will be able to relate to this, that most of the people who are closest to you could be the ones that are not very supportive of your business or may not be the most empowering for your business, but they are family, right? Like, how can you detach just like this? So there are some relationships we can't cut off completely, but we can be in control of how we want to respond to it and how we want to manage it, right? So at the start of my transformation and my business, I intentionally cut down the time that I spend with certain family members whom I know love me to bits and really want the best for me. That's why they are not supportive, because they didn't understand what I was up to at that point, right? So instead of just getting myself bogged down each time I get to them, each time I feel like I had to give myself a boost, go face them and have it all drained right to the bottom, and come home feeling exhausted, questioning myself why I'm doing all this, and then bringing everything up again. That was a process that I was going through so much that I thought, it has to come to a stop. And I just reduced contact with these people for the initial period of time when I was running with my business. I really needed to focus on the things that needed to be done and my belief in the business. So these people who weren't helping, I just spent less time with them. So this could be an idea for the exercise that you're going to do in this part, which is, first of all, for you to describe your biggest frustration right now, just to get that in context for you. What is really irking you at the moment? And then list 5 things, people, situations, or arrangements. So like I mentioned earlier, it could be physical things that you need to declutter. It could be relationships. It could be situations like you committed to something which you may want to consider decommitting from, right? So list 5 things that distract or drain you. So it could be something as simple as playing Candy Crush. It could be something like that. That you just feel that is a relaxing thing for you, is distracting for you, but somehow it's just taking up too much time. It could be something like that.
Oh my God. It used to be Candy Crush and Farmville. I used to farm literally 8 or 9 hours a day. When I first got on social media, it was for Farmville. And then I got so hooked, I had to cut the cord.
Yes. So it's totally addictive, these things. So
yes.
If you're committed to some things, right? So look out for these things that you might be spending too much time on. And it totally could be social media. It could be Facebook, like the very platform we are in, but we are not doing it intentionally or in the right way, right? So for each of these 5 things that you write down, then list that you've listed, write down one thing that can help you let go of this thing, person, situation. And it doesn't need to be something that you can do immediately. It could be just one step.
So, can I share really quickly something that I do? So I I have the typical entrepreneurial syndrome, squirrel syndrome, and easily distracted. But one thing I started doing is maybe about 7 or 8 months ago is time blocking. And so I block my time, but now the time blocking is great and everything, but if you don't follow it, it doesn't matter. Yes. So what I do is every block of time is usually about 30 minutes to an hour. And I set my clock for that 30 minutes. And when it goes off, I stop doing that task. But what this has done for me is this has helped me to say, I can focus for 30 minutes on one thing. Prior to that, I couldn't even focus for like 5 or 10 minutes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So that's one thing I do, setting a timer.
Same here. So there are 2 things that I do to help myself focus. One is that I play focus music, or like tracks, soundtracks to keep my focus. That's from brain.fm. So that helps me to focus while I'm working. Most of the time is when I'm like writing articles or designing landing pages or things like that. Then I would need to stay in this focus. And I totally do what Lynda does as well. That's also called the Pomodoro method. So that you can just search on your phone app store, or you can just Google for it. The Pomodoro planning method is for you to be working for any time between 25 to 35 minutes, and then taking a 5 to 10 minute break, and then starting another cycle of 30 to 35 minutes again. So working for 30 minutes, taking a 5-minute break, then another 30 minutes, taking another 5-minute break. That gives you the space to be able to focus and create some momentum in the things that you want to do, right? So that's definitely a way how you can be tackling the things that you need to be doing. But for now, in part 3, let's first just look at the things that are distracting and draining you and disempowering you as well, and then see what you can be doing for each of these items. So just take a couple of moments to write that down.
It's crazy. I didn't know there was a name to it. I just started doing it for me, and then I guess it's a thing. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so you could get a timer. You could get a Pomodoro app and use that for your tasks.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's cuter, it's more fun, and also it could, you could start tracking how many Pomodoros you do a day, and it can be showing you that you are, you are on a focus streak because you have done like how many Pomodoros in a row, or you've been doing Pomodoros in a few days in a row. So that helps you be able to get into the habit of doing this.
That's cool. So it could be like your own little Pomodoro game instead of playing Candy Crush. You can do that could be your high.
Yeah, absolutely. And
love it.
And then thinking that, you don't want to break that pattern for a day, so just go do at least one Pomodoro.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
That's totally helping yourself gamify it. So this was the stage during my 5-day challenge that baffled some people. So on some aspects, they felt, so those who found it easy to write down these 5 things or more, right? It was liberating for them because they could discover what are the things that were bogging them down and holding them back. There were some people who found it really hard to come up with this list, and then started to look at their lives and situation in appreciation and gratitude, because they didn't have that many things that they needed to declutter in their lives, and which meant that most things were supportive, were lifting them up. So this was a very interesting exercise for some of the participants to do. And then, so now that we have cleared the space, right? So we clear the space to create space for new things. And that brings us to part 4, where it's to up and uplift. So it's really for you to take a look at all the positive and uplifting aspects of your life, right? That just make you happy, makes your heart sing. And what we want to do is to reinforce that and get more of it, because we may not be so conscious of it, that we would tend to just go to the things that will make us happy, but we are not so sure what it is, or we are not so intentional about doing that. This is a step where we want to be intentional about either reinforcing it or looking for more aspects that are similar. So that to ensure you are always in high vibes, right? So what you'll be doing in this step is the opposite of what we did previously. Now list 5 things, people, situations, or arrangements that currently lift and support you. So for parents, it could be your nanny, right? The person who comes in to help take over, taking care of your child. That is definitely something that supports you, right? So, and then think of 5 new things, people, situations, or arrangements that could lift and support you as well. So I want you to be creative over here. Think of more things, maybe in your business. You could be outsourcing, you could be asking someone to come in and to handle certain things for you, whatever it is, right? And then for each item, write down one thing that you can do that will bring you closer to having that new resource, right? So the first point is for you to be present to and appreciate whatever you have right now. The second point is for you to think of new things. And then the third point is for you to write down one thing you could do to bring you closer to getting that arrangement set up. So it could be getting a VA for your business. It could be speaking to your boss for you to get off work early one day a week or one day a fortnight, right? So that you could go to the gym, something like that, right? Something that would lift and support you. How can you be doing more of it? This is when I need you to be creative and resourceful and think about more ways you could have these things in your life.
So I did an exercise kind of like this recently, and what that was is writing down everything that I love doing and then concentrating on doing more of that, so this is great, breaking it down into how, because like it was great that I had the list and everything, but then I had to figure out how am I going to be able to do more of those things.
Exactly. So it's not hard for us to know what are the things that we enjoy doing, but how do we get time to do that is actually the tricky part, right? So if I enjoy, or if, for example, when I did my me time sessions earlier this year, there were mothers who were frustrated that they weren't able to recall the last time they watched a movie full from beginning to end without an interruption, right? Something as small as that, to some people that's like a no-brainer, right? But to some people, just sitting there for 2 hours or more, these days the movies get longer and longer, but sitting there to watch a movie from beginning to end without an interruption may be a luxury for some people. So you could think about what you need to do to put things in place so that you can have that uninterrupted movie date with yourself or with someone, up to you, once a fortnight, once a month. If you really like it and thrive on it, you could have it once a week. But yeah, think of how these things could happen, right? It could even be something as small as wake up 30 minutes earlier to do a meditation session every day in the morning. So this could be something, this is a new arrangement. So it's not a new person or a new thing, but it's a new arrangement or a new routine that you're putting in your life that supports you. That could be it as well. So it could be so many different possibilities, but this part is really to have you be very creative and resourceful in thinking about how else you can get more good stuff in your life.
I really like that idea of the, adding, 30 minutes, like getting up earlier, just 30 minutes, or even 10 minutes.
Yes.
Get up 10 minutes earlier and do some sort of like meditation. I know a lot of people that they get up and the first thing they do is they grab their coffee, read the newspaper. Yeah. And that's really awesome because that's their them time, like the me time. And I know one of our mentors, Chris, he talks about the first so many minutes of your day are the only time you have for you. The rest of your day is for everything else around you.
Yeah.
So if that's getting up a half hour earlier so that you actually really have me time, then do it and implement that. I, for one, don't do that. And I really need to add that to my day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to not go to bed at 3 a.m. is what I need to. There we go. I'm going to change that. So I'm going to have mine so that I'm going to bed before midnight, like 11:59 is okay. Yeah. That'll be mine.
So it could be something as simple as like an alarm in your phone, or it could be asking your friend to just check in with you every day if you are going to bed soon at that time. Something as small as that, right? It might not even have occurred to you that it could be as easy as this, but it is, right? Just maybe an alarm that triggers, or someone just calling you to, or you committing to someone. For example, you tell me that, okay, Ping, I'm gonna say good night to you at this time every day. right? And if I don't, like, just give me a buzz, right? So that could be it.
Okay. And
As simple as that.
midnight for me is what about 1 in the afternoon for you or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Exactly. And you
you're
know
wide
that,
awake.
yeah, you know, when we have our chats in my late afternoon, I'll be asking you like, why are you not in bed yet, right? So,
Yes,
so
exactly.
those are things that you could be, those are ways that you could be using external resources like either a phone alarm or an accountability buddy like I am for you, that would just help to support you rather than think that you have to do it all by yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, Ping is actually in Singapore. So
Yes.
we're like 16 hours difference or something like that. I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's great.
Yeah. Yes. So think of that and then write that down. And I really am getting the sense that you need to, some of you might need to go back to various parts of this session to go deeper into it. I had a participant in the 5-day challenge who had trouble doing this part. So again, there were some who felt so easy. You know, they went beyond 5 things in their lives that currently support them. And it was almost like a gratitude exercise that they just realized, oh, I have so many aspects that are supporting me. And I actually invited them to express their thanks to these, if there were people who were supporting them, to go thank them, right? But I also had people who had difficulty with this section because they were so used to doing things themselves and depending on themselves, and they were finding it so difficult to trust some other person or another arrangement to be helping them. So it was a fantastic realization for them as well, where they saw how they struggled with thinking of new situations that could support them, because they were just so used to doing everything on their own and relying on themselves. So like, just a very small example of what we talked about earlier, Lynda, about you wanting to sleep earlier, you could totally not have that be in your space, right? Outsource that to an app or a friend, and then you have one thing less that you need to push yourself to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. My husband does say, hey, when are you coming to bed? And I'm like, I'll be there in 5 minutes. And he's like 2 hours later, when are you coming to bed? So, okay, apparently that doesn't work for me. So having someone like you on the other side of the world might work better for me than the person in my own house. It will.
Or we might just get into a conversation or a discussion that keeps you up even longer. I won't dispel that possibility.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, but think of something that will help you, right? So it could be an app, again, like a habit app that you want to have a success streak, or it's been 20 days since you've gone to bed before midnight and you want to keep that up, right? So that could be something as well. So again, look at how things work for you, how you feel motivated, and go with that.
I like that. Hey, we got Dulce, Lauren, Christina, Denise. We got lots of people joining us here. Karen and Jan. Cool. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Hopefully you're getting something really good out of this. I know I am. So thanks, Ping, for this. So if anybody wants to share anything, or if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below, and I'll ask Ping the questions. But also, if you have any things that you want to share with us, go ahead and put them down there in the comments. We'd love that.
Yep. So then I'm going to move on to part 5. And this is the fun part. This is really where you create your roadmap and be clear about the action that you need to take to achieve your goals of the first quarter of 2018 with ease and focus, right? So we've already identified 2 things that you could be doing in the first quarter of 2018 to bring you to a higher level of happiness, right? So that was in part 2. And we've also broken them down into smaller steps, micro steps, we've decluttered some of the things that are not going to serve us to make room for the empowering and uplifting things that are going to support us to our goals. So these were all the things that we've done in the first 4 parts. And this is the part 5 where we are going to put everything together. So again, note that this process may take longer than this session itself, but I'm going to guide you through what you need to do. So again, I belabor this point, and I had to do that every single day in my 5-day challenge. Go back to the first 4 parts and then break things down as small as you can, right? So the 3 smaller steps could be maybe 27 micro steps altogether, and break it down as small as possible so that you can put them in your calendar or your planner as a task or as an appointment. Okay? So this is the work that you need to do to break things down. This is probably going to take longer than this session, but you probably can do that in easily 30 minutes.
Did
right?
you say this was the fun part?
Yes, it is.
No, I don't know about that.
It is. So
okay.
This is where we put everything together, and I'm going to guide you through, because this could be daunting for you. Exactly.
Yes,
like if you don't even think that this is fun at all, right? Because I totally had that in my participants for the 5-day challenge as well. They were looking at their plans and they were just frozen in like, okay, I don't know what to do next. And they started to, look somewhere else, get distracted and start procrastinating. So that was totally something that the typical reaction when it comes to this part, but trust me, it's going to be fun. So the thing is to break things down smaller. So the challenge is just to see if whatever you have written down can be put in as one task or an appointment in your planner. If not, then just break it down some more, right? And for the first time that you are doing this, you could have many, many, many small parts, and regard that as a big win. The more number of small parts you have, the micro parts that you have, right? You can congratulate yourself, have a good laugh over it, and say, no wonder all your past planning systems or resolutions to start using a planner, a diary, electronic or paper planner, whatever it is, no wonder it all failed. It's because you weren't able to break it down into these micro steps. So that's like the first biggest win. So it would be fun if we all had like a mini contest to see who has the biggest number of micro steps from the 6 smaller steps you've had in part 2. So do that first, right? And the other thing is, some of you perfectionists and control freaks out there, I can relate because I'm one as well, must be saying in your mind that I'm not sure because January to March is too far ahead. If I was going to put it in my planner, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep that appointment or that task when it comes to that point, right? So I really want to state this up front. Your planner or your calendar is something that should be in flow and should be fluid and flexible, right? Nothing is cast in stone, so don't worry about it at this point, right? Of course, appointments need to be made, words need to be kept, but in this planning, especially when it's your first time doing this exercise, it can always be changed. And I have one ninja tip for those people who are using paper and you don't like to be canceling appointments out on your paper planner because it makes everything look messy, right? So Lynda, I was so stuck with that for the longest time until I realized there was some wonderful invention in this world called an erasable pen. So Pilot and Papermate make erasable pens in multiple colors, right? So for people who use paper planners like myself, and you like to be using different colors, if you may be using Sharpies before, and you use all of that in your planner, you love the look of it and it's so beautiful. And okay, the next thing you do is, I don't want to change anything, right? So that kind of planning system does not work. So use an erasable pen or a set of erasable pens in different colors to write things down in your planner so that you can move things around. So that used to be one of the limitations of using a paper planner. And that was why I also switched to an electronic planner for some time. But I personally just love writing on paper, and I love looking at my week in a view. So my current paper planner, a week in a view.
Before you go further, let's ask, is there anybody out there who uses a paper planner? Now, I know one of my friends, Jessica, she was in my mastermind group, and she would come to our mastermind meetings with her paper planner and all of her different color pens. And I was like, what are you doing? She's like, this works for me. I'm like, you know what? If it works for you, then that's awesome. So how many of you guys out there use a paper planner? If you do you have a favorite one? Because I know there's this passion planner, and I know, Ping, you're really into planners, and you have tested out so many different ones.
Yes.
And which one did you land on, or do you have a couple, or how do you do that?
Well, I did. That was the reason why I did my planner review for 2018, and I reviewed 15 planners.
Well, 15. Right? Oh my gosh.
I reviewed 15, and I selected them for different reasons, based on like different levels and intensity of use. I started off with those that are totally customizable. So I don't use an off-the-shelf planner. I ended up customizing one for myself so that I can lay out exactly the way I want it. But that's after testing this layout for like 9 months before I plunged into customizing a planner for a year. So then there are other planners that I highly recommend that you can pick them out off the shelf, and they are amazing to support you in all this reflection work that we've done, incorporated in your planner so that you can be reminded to do that periodically. And I say periodically, meaning that you either do this exercise once a quarter, which is what we are doing right now, and then you need to review it every month. You need to also review certain things every week, and then do a review every day. That brings me to the second number 2 of this part, because I would like you to look at when you would have these review sessions. Because I asked you to put in your tasks and appointments for a 3-month period, right? I also say that you can always go back to review them. But when do you go back to review them? Is it on an SMN basis, or is it a planned activity? So it's a planned activity, which you would need to schedule now till the end of March, right? So there are 2 things that you need to schedule. One is for you to decide when you want to set aside 10 minutes each day. It'd be nice if you could have the same timing every day, but it doesn't need to be like a specific time. It could be maybe before bed, first thing in the morning when you get up, or perhaps after lunch. Something tagged to a certain routine that you must do every day. Set aside that 10 minutes to review the day. How has your day gone? So if you do this first thing in the morning, you review the previous day and you plan for the upcoming one. I like to do my planning before I go to bed. So I will review the day, and then I'll plan for the next day, right? So this is a process that I do to be able to clarify all the tasks and appointments that I had just like thrown into my planner earlier on. And some of you must be saying, I can hear this in your mind already, I don't have time to do this, right? So,
well, wait, hold on. Yeah. So first of all, Denise uses a daily planner to schedule her appointments, and Karen uses a planner as well. So cool, you guys Kudos to you for that. But I want to address this too before you actually go into it, because I used to be that person who said, I don't have time to plan.
Yeah.
Well, what I discovered, and I know this is what you're going to say,
Yes.
is when you plan ahead of time, you actually accomplish a lot more.
Yes.
It's
exactly.
crazy.
Yeah.
So I do the same thing. I look at mine. So I do my time blocking out like a whole month in advance, actually.
Yeah.
And then what I do is the night before, I go look at the next day to see what I have scheduled. And if
Yes.
things are doubled up, because sometimes things get doubled up, I make it so nothing is doubled up.
Yep. Yep.
And then I'm able to accomplish everything I've scheduled. And that's because I have it timed out. I'm using my alarm to make it through every 30 minutes, you know. So sticking to the plan. So like my book, I had this plan for this book, and pushing forward on it, I had to plan it out. Otherwise it was never going to happen. So, okay, go on. Preach it, girl.
That you are a perfect testament of how this works and why it's necessary. So thank you for that. And yeah, so for those of you who are like just screaming out loud to saying that you don't have time to do this, it's an investment that you take to so that you get clarity on what you need to do. So you would probably be committed to doing this if you don't want overwhelm. You don't want to be in a rush most of the time. You don't want to be stressed because of the things, so many things to do and having too little time. So if these are the things that you don't want, then you jolly well do this planning and set aside a little bit of time each day. It's going to be difficult at the start, but trust me, it's going to play out so well for you. Like just in a couple of days, I wouldn't even say the long term, just in a few days, you'll be able to see the benefit of doing this. But there are some additional things you need to do to make this work better as well. And I'm going to go into that also. So first of all, set a 10-minute, set a time every day where you can be using 10 minutes to review the day, right? And then to plan for the following day. Likewise, you want to do this for your week before it starts as well. So, and this session would probably be taking longer. I don't use 20 minutes nowadays. At most, maybe about 10, because I'm very used to the process and I'm on it almost all the time. So I don't only do this reflection and reviewing in this weekly session only, right? So I tend to do that ongoing, and that's because I'm quite used to the system already. But otherwise, for someone new who's starting up with this, then set a longer time, like 20 minutes, to review the week that has passed. So when you review it, I would suggest look at two things. First of all, where are some areas that you could have done better? And then the second thing is really for you to pick out certain areas of the week where you want to express your gratitude for. Right? So these two things are really for what I do when I review my week. So it's not a big deal, right? Just looking at some places where I could be doing better and improving upon, and also looking at the areas that I'm so grateful for. So the gratitude exercise is something that I could be doing another session on, but it's something that would just, when you see and acknowledge the good things that you have in your life, you are sending a very, very strong message to the universe to say that, hey, I got it. Thank you. Send more my way, right? So that's how writing down the things that you can be grateful for would help you in attracting even more good things to your life. And then looking at the areas where you want to review or you can be doing better, these are the things that you want to tweak, because the last thing you want, or anything worse than not having a goal and a direction to focus on, is having your focus on the wrong thing and dashing to it at express speed, right? So you want to be tweaking this as and when is necessary, so that you find out early enough that you're going a bit off direction, so that you can set yourself back on the path again. So this review is really, really important. And then planning for the week ahead, I find for myself, this thing really takes away a lot of stress from me. So there are two reasons why I do this. One is that I feel stressed if I'm going into a week thinking that there's so many things to do, but in fact, I don't have a clear idea of what those things are. And the other thing is that, you know, with 3 kids and going with age, I find that I can rely less and less on my mind to be thinking about these things. So I used to be able to keep them all in my head. I didn't even need a planner or a schedule at all, right? So, and I would be able to more or less get things done because I was much younger then. I think my mind was a lot more agile. But now I'm in a space where my mind's just reserved for very minimal things, and I want to outsource all other things as much as I can. And this planning, having the things that I want to do on paper in my weekly planner, is totally how I offload my brain, so that I don't need to think about it anymore. I know that everything's in place. I trust that this system works, and I'm not worrying the night before and having difficulty getting to bed because I'm thinking about, oh, I have this then tomorrow. Am I able to fit this as well? Or I will need to rush from here, and I must make sure that this meeting ends by this time so that I can go pick my child up at that time. And all these things, I used to be, you know, just lying in bed thinking about these things and not being able to sleep. But once I set the time aside before bedtime to plan all these things out, it's so much easier. So I go to bed, my head touches the pillow, and I just fall asleep like a baby really quickly. So this is one of the very, very, very good ways for you to eliminate stress from your life. If you're always in a rush, or you always feel overwhelmed, or there's too many things to do, yeah, this is a perfect exercise for you to start getting into a habit of doing.
And I want to share on that too, because you did mention that because you do it on a frequent basis, that you it becomes like second nature. And the same with me. So when I first started doing this, I would block out 15 minutes, but now it really takes me anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes because I'm just checking to make sure that I can actually fit in what is scheduled. If not, then I have to take some time to move it, or, you know, but I literally have everything. It's like when I'm the editor of a magazine. So I have literally 200 pages to read here. And I had to schedule that, because if I don't schedule it, I will not do it. It's my responsibility, you know? So literally scheduling everything. And the last thing I want to share on that is make sure you schedule your drive time. So if you're going somewhere, don't just schedule meeting, schedule drive time. If there's going to be traffic, make sure you schedule. I didn't do that at the beginning, and I found myself late for every meeting because I was like, oh my gosh, I got to drive there. And I wasn't scheduling drive time. So that's make sure you do that.
A golden tip. So preparation time, commute time. So find that you end up going for appointments late all the time, then that part you probably underestimated. Right? The time that you need to get yourself made up in the morning, and then getting to work, allowing some leeway for heavy traffic or things like that, or any emergency that may pop up, that will definitely help you in one, showing up for your appointment on time. Second, so that you are not stressed. Because otherwise you'll be so stressed up, you'll be late, you'll be in a hurry, you'll be feeling bad about being late, and you start off that appointment in all negative energy. So that's not something that's advisable to do. The other thing that Lynda had so aptly put, so if she has 200 pages to go through, she has to schedule it, right? So exactly what I tell my daughter. So my eldest daughter is 11 now, and I just got her own planner this year for her to start planning. And she'll be telling me things like, oh, mommy, I want to do this. Oh, mommy, during the school holidays, I would like to go there. And I would be telling her one thing: nothing is real unless you have put it in your planner, right? So the fact that she has written it down in her planner gives that thing an existence. Otherwise, it's just a random thought. And we are so capable of having like 3001 random thoughts in our minds every single moment, right? So the fact that you write it down in your planner or put it in your electronic calendar means that you have put that item into existence. So it means that you don't need to worry over whether you're going to do it or not. You've put it there. Maybe you need to postpone it because of some reason, but it's already there. So it doesn't take up space in your mind. It just takes up space on your planner, right? So those are the things that I would advise you to do to create your roadmap, right?
And that brings up another great point too, is that I've always held so much information in my head, throughout all these years. And once I started using, I use an electronic calendar, not a planner, not a hard copy one. But ever since I started putting everything down there, what would happen is, here's a great example. My husband would say, so what are you doing tomorrow at 4? And I'm like, I don't know. Let me look at my calendar.
Yeah.
In the old days, I'd be like, oh, I'm doing this and this. Like everything was in my head.
Yes.
Well, it all gets jumbled up in there. And like, why keep unnecessary information in my head if I can actually have it in a place that I can access?
Exactly. So later on at the end of the session, I'm going to give you one golden tip that will help you with all these things, and make it a lot easier for you to be creating your tasks and appointments for the next quarter. But these are the two main things that I'd like you to do from this session, right? So this has been an intense 1.5 hours of going through the 5 parts, going through what values you hold dear to you, what are the things that need to be done by March, the end of March next year, so that you can increase your happiness both as a person and as an entrepreneur or an employee. You've looked at the things that you need to do to declutter all the negative and disempowering things from your life, and also what are the areas you can create more of to uplift and support you to do the things that you need to reach your goals. And this last part is to put everything together in your planner, right? So if you need to know which paper planner is best to use, I have a planner roundup that I can share with you. So just indicate in the comments that you want to know what's that all about, and I can share that link. Remind me later. And then now what I'm going to talk about is what's going to happen after this, right?
So you want them to type planner roundup in the comments if they
can? Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so type planner roundup in the comments if you're interested in getting a copy of that.
What paper planners can be that I recommend and which would be suitable for them to use.
And I'd like to welcome Valerie and Anne. Valerie, thank you so much for the necklace. I wore it yesterday for my launch. Thank you very much. It's beautiful. But before you go into that, Ping, I wanted to bring up something, because I did a video about this morning, because I realized how important this was. If you have things that, first of all, if you keep doing the things you're doing the way you're doing them, you will end up with the same result. Yes. So you need to change something in your life to get a different result. And I think we can all agree with that. So I have a question for you guys. What is something or some things that you're putting off doing? And then ask yourself, why am I putting that off? A lot of times it goes to fear. That's the reason. That's the number one reason most entrepreneurs are not successful, because fears block them. But then I want to ask you, say, what is the thing that you are putting off? And then why are you putting it off? You have to discover that in order to be able to change it. And then when are you going to do it? Or when you're going to, as Ping was talking about earlier, when are you going to delegate it? By hiring a virtual assistant, or by doing something with it? So just want to ask you that question before we go into the next step. And Denise has requested the planner roundup. Anybody else, if you want the planner roundup that Ping went through, it's really amazing. I'm not a planner person, but I still went to go look and see what she was up to. And it's like, for you planner people, you're going to absolutely love it. Trust me.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So, and Lynda, you seem to be like reading my mind on this, because what you just mentioned about doing something different to get a different set of results was my PS ending note in my day one challenge email, right? Because that was day one of my 5-day challenge, and I knew that people would get stuck with that. Just looking at values and then setting a vision for the new year and just seeing if they would be aligned is something that's different, right, than what they are used to doing. And for the next 4 days, I was going to take them on a different journey as well. Just like your reaction when you looked at part 5, it's like, are you sure this is going to be fun? Right? So just reflect on your immediate response on how you are on when all these parts show up, and look at how you are responding to it and how you are showing up. Are you looking at it and thinking that, wow, this was quite interesting, I'm probably going to do that later, right? Instead of now. Why didn't you do it now? Why are you doing it later? Or you're looking at it and you stopped at part 3 because that seemed to be a little bit challenging, and you think that, nah, I don't think this is really suitable for me. It may not be suitable for you. I'm not saying it must be, but just take a look at some of your ways of a very natural way that you tend to respond to some things. Look at whether this way of responding to things support you towards your goals. It might not. So this is something that's not easy to do. I've simplified it to as few steps as possible and as easy as a process as I think it can be for a person who's just starting out to plan, but it needs work and it needs commitment, right? So that's why it might seem daunting to a couple of you, and especially going deep into what you want, that might be a little bit difficult for you. But well, that's because, like I established right at the start of this session, you are up to something big in 2018. And if you are, then start doing a couple of things differently so that you can get to those goals. And I'm here to support you on that, right? So that's the next thing I wanted to talk about. What's going to happen after this, right? I do know that there must be, for most of you, there must be some things that you wouldn't get to complete in this 2-hour session. So continue to be supported. You could either post it in the thread of this Facebook Live in Lynda's group, or you could hop over to my Facebook group where I can support you with other people participating in it as well, right? So I have another group that's Tech Made Simple for mompreneurs. So it doesn't only talk about things like this, like productivity, because basically I help mompreneurs save time so that they can do more of the things that they love to do. So there's a lot of tech tips in there as well. And that's why I threw out things like either using paper planners or using an app in the phone for Pomodoros and all that. So I'm always on the lookout for ways how you can be saving time. I do that for you so that you don't go through the rabbit hole of needing to do all this research work on your own, which also takes plenty of time, right, Lynda? I'm sure you can attest to that.
I definitely can. I sent you a private message in Facebook, just so you know. But yeah, definitely, what she's talking about. First of all, her group is very supportive, and what I really, really love about Ping is that I'm technical, but not. I mean, technologically savvy, but not nearly as technologically savvy as Ping is. And it's funny because I thought I was like, I got it going on, but once I met Ping, I'm like, I don't got it going on at all, So it's great, but she has so much knowledge to share, and I really love the way she breaks things down and makes it simple. That's it's simple, bite-sized pieces, and it just makes it easier for us to understand how to do what we need to do and want to do.
Yes, that's exactly it. Actually, my role is to be here to simplify things for you, not to make things more complicated, because there's so much out there these days, so much information, so many shortcuts and different ways of doing things that it might get overwhelming. So I just do my research and I directly give you my feedback on what works, what doesn't work, so that you can just decide for yourself which of these like new fun stuff to take on and which things you shouldn't waste your time on. So that's basically what I do in my group, and I will be posting my group link later on in the comments so that you can join it to get further support, or you can continue to put in your comments to this post. Also, I'll be looking at it, coming back to it to answer any of your questions. The other way that I could be supporting you is for you to be joining my exclusive program called Accomplished. So Accomplished is a 90-day program that I have that helps you if you want more time, more success, and more joy in your life, right? So it's very specific. It's not for everyone. You are clear what you want, but you know that you get sidetracked or distracted on how to get there. So you would be stopped by distractions, by overwhelm, and you struggle with not having enough time each day. And even if you do feel that you have enough time, you sometimes get lost because you don't know what to start with, right? You have no idea what to do first because there are so many things to do. So if you can relate to any of these things, then the Accomplished program would be for you. So what I'm going to cover during this 90-day program is that I'm following a 5-part structure and then giving you 16 live support sessions. You know, earlier I was talking about having review sessions every month and every week. I'm going to be doing that with you. I'm going to be facilitating that so that you don't need to find that it's such a chore sitting down for that 20 minutes to get things done, but then you can actually sit down in a session with live with me together with your group mates and then coming up with your reflection and planning together, right? And the nice thing about it is that it's not going to be a very big group. So I don't take many people in for this 90-day program because I want to give more attention to each of the participants. So I keep the group really small. So that's a nice thing about it, that you don't have too many people vying for my attention and my time for feedback. And then what's really nice is that the rest of the participants would be committed to support you as well, and we learn from one another. Then I'm also going to pair you up with an accountability buddy. So besides getting support from me, you are going to be supported by your accountability buddy as well, so that you really use less of your own personal resource, right? Outsource it to me and your buddy so that you can focus on doing the things that you need to do, not focus on getting yourself out of procrastination, beating yourself up over missing a deadline and things like that, right? And then all this is going to happen on a private support community in Facebook. So this is what you'll be receiving in the 90-day program. And lastly, let me talk about how much I've done a run of this program, a similar run of this program earlier this year. So I've had people say that, you know, well, thanks, that I'm a master in goal setting and scheduling for busy working moms. And I also help them be able to relax and focus. So the main thing is that I believe that you can get more done using less time. But how you're going to do that, you need a little bit of guidance and support, and that's what I provide in the program, right? So also for Kristen, who had her first child last year, so she was very, very focused on reaching her business goal, but I took her a step back to look at what matters most to her. And her biggest result came in two ways. One was that she realized that she wanted to spend more time with her family, her young growing daughter, and her husband, her mother. And when she had the focus on that, guess what? Her business results took a steep increase even without her needing to do much about it. So it was a perfect scenario, and that's exactly what I want to help you achieve as well. So if you want to spend more time with the people you value and love most, and yet you want to get your business results in the next 90 days, you are committed to go for that dash with me, then this program is for you. So let me talk very quickly what it's gonna be worth for you. So the usual price of it is $4.97 for the next 24 hours, especially for Lynda's group of people. You'll get it at a $3.97. If that's too heavy a burden for you, then you could be looking at doing it in a 3-part payment of $173 per month, right? So this is my 90-day program. I'm going to start the program on the 2nd of January. So there's not many days for you to sign up. So if you found that this is useful, this has been useful, please feel free to hop on my group so that I can support you ongoingly. But if you are up to something bigger and you want even more support from me on a more personalized, intimate basis, then please check out the Accomplished 90-Day program in this link. And the last thing I wanted to just add on is that, remember what Lynda, what you spoke about me clearing that tune in your mind for you. So I use a technique from my MAP coaching. So I'm a certified MAP practitioner, and MAP stands for Manifesting All Possibilities. So what I can help people do is to get rid of that disempowering and negative beliefs that are blocking their way to achieving their success. So this may not have been something that was so visibly blocking Lynda's success, but it was something that was in her way. So I help her clear that. And in this Accomplished 90-Day program, I'm going to be using the MAP technique to support you as well, to help you clear your negative thoughts about procrastination, about not being able to get it all done, and not believing that you deserve all the success that you want to achieve in the goals that you've set. So I'm going to use the MAP process to be helping you and supporting you in some of these areas as well, because all theory and all action, if you have some mental things that are in your subconscious that are blocking you, you wouldn't be able to clear that. So I've incorporated this holistic way of supporting you to be able to get your things done, all your goals accomplished by the end of March 2018. Right. So over to you, Lynda.
Okay, so just to be clear on that, that's the next 24 hours for the live viewers, which means that will end at 4 p.m. Pacific time on Saturday, and Singapore, that's Sunday. What time is it there?
It's almost 8 a.m.
8 a.m. Okay, so 8 a.m. on Sunday. And then also for those who want to watch this again, we'll leave the replay up. I'll leave it up until 6 p.m. on Sunday.
Yes.
And so you guys can watch it up till then, go back through it, find out, answer those questions, because these are going to really help you catapult your entire life. So you can use these for your personal life or your business life. And if you hear a little pattering in the back, that's my dogs. They're deciding to play right now. So they're just pattering all over. But yeah, exactly. They're like, you're done, Mom. So, but this is to plan your future. And, like I said, again, I think it was Benjamin Franklin who said, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. Yes. And so what that means is that you have to take a plan of action to turn your life around. And you are the only one that can do that. So you make the choices of what you're going to do. Even if Ping's program isn't the one for you, find something out there that's going to help you to live the life that you truly want to be, the life of freedom, the life where you're working through all these things and you have support. Because without support, if it's not working for you now, it might not work for you in 2018. So maybe support is all you're missing. It's possible. I don't know. So
exactly. So no, that's totally what it is. You are definitely capable of getting all these things done on your own. So have faith in yourself. So it's only that, and there are different solutions out there. Not only my program. It's just if you are up to something big and you want to save yourself all that experimental time, then hop on this program to help you really just speed things up for you in the next 90 days. So, and I promised you one last golden tip before we end the session today. And that's really to support you let me just take you back for this part, right? So for you to be putting the things that you created in your planner as a task or an appointment, right? And also, what do you do during a review session? I found it very, very useful to have something called a brain dump, right? So Lynda, like I was sharing with you that I just want to offload things from my brain and put them somewhere else. I have all the thoughts that I have, the things that I need to do, the ideas that I have, all in something called a brain dump that I keep in an app called Asana. So you could have a brain dump on paper or electronically, but I have the preference to keep it electronically because I can then get to organize them a little bit. So for example, I will always have random thoughts for my accomplished program. You know, like, okay, oh, it'd be great if I add this to the program, or I need to be doing this right now, sending this communication out to the participants. And rather than get myself all bogged up or commit it to memory, which I have very little of these days, I would put them in my brain dump. So the fact that I've put that in, remember I said earlier that whatever you put in your schedule, you've put it in existence. For the brain dump is for things that you are not ready to put in your schedule yet, but you may want to do it in future and you don't ever want to forget it, right? So that's again a way, a big reason why I hardly have any stress is because I don't keep these things in my head. So I know that if the more I keep them in my head, I will either be dwelling on them too much or I'll be forgetting them. So the fact that I've put them in a brain dump, it means that I've already set them aside for a time where I can be getting back to them. And that is what the review then is for. When I review my week and my day, I look through my brain dump and I can pull out things. Oh, okay, I should be doing this thing this week. Now that my program is going to start, I should be sending out this communication this week. I put that in my weekly plan, right? And there are some things that may come up, more and more things that will come up. I will keep adding them to my brain dump. So your brain dump would be increasing in length, but it also doesn't mean that you need to do everything on your brain dump, right? But you've put it there so that you'll never forget it. Like in my brain dump is also to learn how to play the flute. It's something that, you know, I just randomly would like to do, but it's frankly fairly low priority or like among the many things that I want to do. But it's not something I want to forget about either, right? Because it will pop up once every few months, you know, that, oh, it'd be nice if I could do that, right? But the fact that I put it in my brain dump, I know that it's there. I would do it when it's time to do it and I want to do it. But, you know, I never needed to think about that again or worry about why am I putting it down, right? So that's what my big golden tip for you is to maintain a brain dump. I think I have a video of that in my group. I'm not sure, but I could totally do a new video on it if you like. So if this would be one of the very good ways to capture all the thoughts and ideas that you have without needing to act on them immediately, right?
And did you know I played flute? Did you know I
Really?
played flute? Yeah, I started playing flute in second grade, so I played it for 10 years. I actually played professionally for a while, and I still have a flute. I play it every once in a while. Yeah, I love flute. I love flute. That's so funny.
Okay. No wonder
I'll give you lessons. Oh, you know, you said a brain dump app called something, and I didn't know what you said. So can you spell that?
Oh, it's ASANA.
Oh, Asana.com, and it's also an app. So it's online.
You could do that in Trello. You could do that in Google Keep. Any of these like list building apps.
Yeah.
You could put it in a notebook or any simple note-taking app that you have. It works well also. The reason why I use Asana again is that I'm able to organize the task items. I do have an Asana walk through in one of the videos for my 5-day challenge. So if you hop onto my group, you'll be able to see that video. And I should give you the link, I think.
Yeah. Let's
Let
get
me
the
go
link.
look for the links when I talk about brain dump and asana, and I'm going to post the link of that video in the group later.
Okay, and then I wanted to share something that I do also, because I do a brain dump as well, and I use Trello. And what I like to do though is about every maybe 2 or 3 months, I actually go look through my brain dump and I remove things that I no longer want to do.
Yes.
Because that happens. You know, like I'm an in the moment type of person, and I have this idea, and I'm like, this is an amazing idea, and so I make sure I get it down onto paper or into my Trello. And then I have to look at it later and decide I don't want to do that anymore. So
that's actually an excellent tip for shopping. I used to be a shopaholic, and I use that method to sort of like curb that, because whenever I want to buy something, I'll put that in my brain dump. So if I can wait till the next time I review my brain dump, and I still want that item, then I would get it. If not, most of the time, 9 out of 10 times, it'll be like, no, I'm fine without it. And this process really supported me in my cutting down physical clutter and living more minimalist way. That totally helped. And it therefore helps in decluttering for the things that you want to do as well. So if you are, as most entrepreneurs are, always having new ideas for your business and always thinking of things that you want to do, not knowing which to focus on, put them in your brain dump. And for the 90 days, focus on one idea. Give it your all. And then at the end of 90 days, do a review to decide if you want to continue at it, it's worth your while, or you want to switch to something else. And when you want to switch to something else, you can always refer to your brain dump and start looking at what you want. Oh. Lynda, you are on mute.
Exactly. I love it. Yeah, I went ahead and just wanted to share on the screen. So if you want to join Ping's program, it's that bit.ly link right there, Accomplished 90D. And, you know, she's just, like I said, really amazing. And she really has a way of listening to what you're working on that may seem like so overwhelming to you, that she can break it down into simple steps. And sometimes that's all it takes, is having someone look at the mess that you have going on in your brain and then just to say, oh, that's not really that difficult. This is all you need to do. Because for them, it's not difficult, you know. So really, I highly recommend joining her program. It's 90 days. One of our mentors has, told us, you commit to something for 90 days. And then if at the end of that 90 days, you haven't made any progress, maybe it's time to dump it and go find something else and commit to that for 90 days. But if after 90 days, you've made some tremendous progress, because 90 days, believe it or not, is a lot of time to get a lot of stuff accomplished. So you will be amazed. I look back every month. Every month I look back at the month to see how much I accomplished, to pat myself on the back. Because if I'm not patting myself on the back, it's probably unlikely that there's going to be other people that are patting me on the back, So I make sure I do that for myself, because it's really important for me to give myself credit for all the work I've done. And so I highly recommend it. And after 90 days, what I do in 90 days, it sometimes blows me away. So you can do that too. So you have anything else, Ping, to
No,
share?
I'm done with my big tip. So
awesome.
I'm all good. Thank you.
I love it.
I've not been able to view the comments, but thank you all for your participation. Continue completing the online worksheet. I'll be able to see your responses when you submit them at the end. And then if you like feedback, I'll be able to give you feedback as well. So and then you'll be getting a copy of your responses via email. So
so make sure you go to the end of that. We didn't get that far, but make sure you get all the way to the end of it, answer those last 2 questions in part 5, put your email address in there, submit it so that you can get a copy of everything that you've committed yourself to.
Count through it. It may not seem easy, but this is like one of the simplest ways I've made it, and it works. So just go with it, right?
Yeah.
And it will definitely give you a lot more ease and flow in the first quarter of 2018.
Yeah, and if you're looking for ease and flow, I don't know. Hopefully you are.
Yeah.
Just go check it out. But it's really it's about committing yourself to your own success.
Yes.
You know, nobody can create your success for you. You're the only one. So you can either in 90 days you can look back and say you can kick yourself for not doing something, or you can look back in 90 days and you can say, I'm so glad I did this and that, whatever it was that you want to accomplish.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yep. And that's the precise reason why I set up the 5-day challenge. I set up this 2-hour session. I've also have the 5 parts in a 5-part series where you can do it at your own pace.
Mm-hmm.
But I've done all this to help those of you who are just frustrated that 1 year is coming to an end and you're quite clueless about what to do to get your goals achieved in the next year, because you're setting these goals again and again and again and you're not getting them accomplished fully. Maybe you are getting a bit closer to them, but it's not at the ideal level that you want, right? And I know how frustrating that can feel, and that's why I created this to be able to help you. So the 5-day program, or this 5-part series on its own, can help you if you do the work. Right. And for the committed ones who are up to a bigger game, then you can be supported more by me in my accomplished program. So either way, you're going to get your results, but just you have to do the work.
Yes, that's all. You just have to do the work.
Yes.
So with that said, you guys go ahead and again, if you want a copy of the planner roundup, which was Ping went and she reviewed several different planners. And she gives you the layout as to like why she chose the ones she's chosen and what she liked and didn't like about other ones. So you don't spend the time doing that. Go check that out. Put planner roundup in the comments below. And
Lynda, I forgot that we were going to have a giveaway.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Totally forgot. Yeah. So what are you giving away today?
I totally forgot.
So let's do this, Ping. We had several people who were live throughout.
Yeah.
And so let's pick one of those persons to be the winner of your prize.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to close my eyes. And when I open them, whoever's name my eyes are looking at will be the winner. Hey, it might be me. Just kidding. Okay, here goes. Tell me when to stop.
Okay. How are you doing this? Scrolling up and down?
Yes.
Stop.
Jan Leonard.
Oh!
Okay, cool. So Jan is the Jan is the winner. What did Jan win? Congratulations, Jan.
Yeah, so let's tell Jan what she won.
Okay, let's tell Jan what she won today.
I have a one-on-one consultation that I do after this 5-part series to go through your plan with you, because if you feel overwhelmed or like, oh, I don't know where to start, or I don't find the last part fun at all, or I got stuck at a couple of parts earlier, I'm gonna spend is it an hour? I can't remember. Like, I'm gonna spend some time with you to go through all your queries to make sure that you are all set for your own plan for 2018. So congratulations, Jen.
Yay! Awesome.
And sorry we didn't announce this earlier.
Yeah. So I tagged Jan and told her that she won that. So she'll connect with you. And you know Jan. So
yes.
Yeah.
And Lynda, why don't we do this? Because I forgot to announce this earlier. For those people who submit their full 5-part entries, and I receive them.
Okay.
You can decide what the cutoff time might be, maybe the time where you take the video off, but because whoever watches the replay can still go through the entire process to work through all the 5 parts, I would pick another winner from all the submissions. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I submitted mine.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, so let's do that. So that'll be about 48 hours from now.
Yes.
So it'll be 6 p.m. my time.
Yep.
on Sunday.
Yeah.
So 6 p.m. Pacific time on Sunday, and you'll choose the winner out of the people who submit the 5-part. That's awesome. So the replay viewers also have a chance to win something.
Exactly. Yeah. I wanted to give them a chance as well because it totally slipped my mind.
And you know what? Here's what we'll do too, because I was going to give away also, you know, a 30-minute free session with me to talk about any fears people have, because I help people work through their fears so that they can increase their income, gain more confidence, and so that they can make a greater impact on the world. And so what we'll do is the winner that wins from the people who submit the 5-part will also win the 30-minute session with me. Let's do that.
Sessions with us.
Yes.
Whoa.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you got to submit your 5-part thing that we just went through with Ping. And I think I put the link to it down below. I'll put the link up in the description above. And you guys, you know, it's really a great way to, it's the worksheets. That's what it's called, the 5-part, what's called a 5-part worksheet. Yeah, the online worksheet. So go ahead and click on that link, fill that out, get it sent into Ping. And then on Sunday, well, Sunday Pacific time, Monday Singapore time, we will both choose the winner. And I'm looking forward to it. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. All right. So there's been a couple of things that we have added and thrown out. So Lynda's gonna update the post to include all the necessary links and all the things that you have to do. And yes, it's been a pleasure spending the last 2 hours and 50 minutes with you.
Yes.
With all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Lynda.
Hey, thanks everybody for being here. Really appreciate it. Congratulations to Jan for winning the one-on-one with Ping. And then whoever wins Sunday or Monday, whatever day it is for you guys, looking forward to see who that winner is. Yeah. Have a great day, everybody.
Yes, bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.